Test. Hello there. What is going on, YouTubers and my fellow and dearest viewers, subscribers, and patrons? Welcome to another live stream and another live filming session. It's the 12th of February, year 2025, at least throughout most parts of the globe, including both the Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere as we speak. Well, maybe except, well, in case you happen to reside in, some parts of Hawaii, say Honolulu, Honolulu, yeah. Maybe, yes, you are still, yes, the date in your case will be the 11th of February instead. But yeah, in any regards, well, since I kind of I kind of planned to make another live stream, to vent and rant and practice my speech, and also to test my my mental status or condition, by say by putting my ability, my cognitive ability to the test by by making through making a video, through making a live stream, and blah blah blah. And yes, I know it's roughly just past midnight, at well, West Coast or Pacific time of the United States, also in Canada. So I don't really expect a large number of you tuning in to this live stream. So I will just as a result of such, I will just kind of treat this live stream of mine as a somewhat personal vlog, well, consisting predominantly my own monologue and self-reflections, ruminations about my the general direction or course of my life, blah blah blah. Yes, and yes, the reason why I didn't um make this live stream part of my reality, and in turn probably some parts of your guys' reality, was that yes, yesterday, while the local weather turned quite gloomy and cloudy, and it kind of rendered my my mental status unfit for another video. And yes, and I give I gave myself a haircut yesterday, and then I had a shower and you know and I had to do some other sorts of chores. Say cleaning the floor of the bathroom and remove also removed some obstructions that hindered the flow of water in the sink. So yeah, there are still plenty of household chores pending, you know for me to wrap up. I haven't cleaned or swept the floor for nearly a fortnight. So yeah, just way too much work for me to do. And yeah, it can sometimes get quite, even extremely overwhelming, to say the least. And to make the matters worse, my OCDs just keep hindering me, keep standing in the way of of getting things, of me trying to get things done in a swift, efficient, and timely manner. It's, well, probably I kind of made a mistake by abstaining from taking antidepressants for such a long period of time. Um, Maybe it's time for me to restart. To continue to take it, to ingest them, you know, ASAP. Yeah, like I said, due to the fact that the stock that I currently have, runs ha, has run quite short. I have to plan, pretty much every tablet or capsule of antidepressant slash any sort of any sort of prescription medication you know I I am about to take very carefully and sparingly, to say the least. Since I currently have absolutely no one, to to give me a hand on such matter. But yes, I certainly I certainly hope that you guys could, send some antidepressant my way, and I will, reimburse you. I will um, compensate you for your time and your trouble in advance. Unlike last time, one of my one of my viewers, well, from Great Britain, yes, kindly and generously donated some medications my way. And I just have had, I wish I could send some of my old man's stamps his way as a returning gift or a returning favor or some sort of reciprocation. But unfortunately, it's just I haven't found a fairly swift and efficient and more importantly di- discreet slash relatively anonymous way to send them from China all the way to Great Britain. So yes, I'm that just adds which adds one more reason for me to relocate to another country. When when spot, or I should say, as soon as I spot another fairly optimal window of opportunity. Yeah. So yeah, namely, it will be a it will greatly help me get back on my feet by shaking, by keeping my OCD symptoms at bay. If if any of you guys out there who are watching could forward some, say, namely some venlafaxine slash category, an antidepressant that falls into the category of yes, SNRIs slash serotonin. How should I pronounce this word? Serotonin non-repinephrine. I beg your pardon. I need to look up the dictionary to check how to pronounce this word. Is it norepinephrine?
Norepinephrine.
Norepinephrine. Yeah, norepinephrine. Norepinephrine. Yeah. Slash serotonin non-repinephrine reuptake inhibitor. Yes, that should be the yes the category of such medication kind of I kind of desperately need in order to combat my severe OCD with ever growing level of intensity. Yeah. So yeah, and don't worry. I will definitely reimburse you or compensate you for your time and trouble in but in any regards, yes. Even if I explicitly asked for help here, it may still I may still get a cold shoulder. But yes, it's always it's I suppose it's pretty much almost always always better to ask you know either for a helping hand or to double check or quad or a triple check or to quadruple check to make sure. But yes, that's when it's and yes, that kind of brought us back to the I beg your pardon. That kind of brought us back to the topic of OCD. It's during this day and age, in case you get scanned or or get tricked into all ping in or buying something, say a product or service that you don't really want or don't really need, you you'd better take extra care or extra number of steps to double check. And yes, that can apply to both online or offline tran- transactions. And but yeah, there's a trade-off. There's a balance between can when it can serve as a shield, a layer of protection for you against harm or the um, deceptions or tricks, and it can start to get the best of you by forming an obsession slash OCD slash obsessive disorder. And to not to the best of my knowledge, maybe pretty much everyone has started to develop some sort of OCD or OCD symptoms to a varying degree or extent throughout the whole globe during this post pandemic or post COVID era. So yeah, probably it has unfortunately more or less become a daily norm. you know and that's freaking sad. And yeah, as for filming, as for the quality of my videos, the overall quality of the contents I tend to create, most chiefly speaking, the videos I film. Yes, yes, I know. They appear quite grainy, and sometimes quite blurred. And though yes, I chose to initiate this live stream during the day. Yes, it do, do, doesn't seem to improve the overall quality very much. So yes, I'm going to do something about it. By making a purchase of a new webcam. I don't I don't suppose I will buy a wireless one. By you know that has built-in Wi-Fi or Bluetooth functionalities. I think I imagine most likely I will buy just a rather you know old fashioned one that connects itself with my laptop with my laptop via USB slash universal serial bus. Well, unless you guys don't know the full name, for the abbreviation of USB. It's universal. It's short for universal serial bus. But yeah, I hope that can somehow improve the overall quality of my future filming slash future video creation. Yeah, to YouTube, and not just to YouTube, but to other video hosting platforms like BitChute or Rumble.com. Yeah, so Jesus Christ. So yeah, yes, I just I suppose I found myself pretty much trapped in a state of limbo, that I start to constantly myself and second guess myself on whether I made the right decision, or the right or have taken the right action to change my life for the better. But I certainly, I hope I've certainly made the right call, by by having bought my the very first punching bag throughout my entire life, thus far. Though yes, it's a rather small one in size, about 60 centimeter in length. And since most of the most if not all the time, one of my relatives slash one of my uncles, who pretty much now you know um has become like an adopted old man of mine. He oftentimes helps carry the the items, the stuffs that I buy online, most predominantly from Taobao and blah blah blah. And he's about 61 or 62 years of age, and by taking into that, by taking into his age and his overall health status, I don't want to burden him so much. So I just yes, I could choose to buy a larger and and in turn a heavier punching bag to practice some boxing, to just try to stay far from weak. But it will certainly, but it will certainly burden him. And not to mention that last year he got hospitalized for, well, allegedly for coughing some blood, as well, allegedly as a result of pneumonia or blah blah blah. But and yes, he smokes a lot. Well, apparently, after that event of hospitalization, he certainly he apparently has begun to at least try to smoke less. So yeah, I just don't want to burden him um too much by being inconsiderate. Yeah. Hey there, what's going on, King? And welcome to my live stream. Welcome back to my live stream and welcome back to my channel. And yes, much thanks to you for hitting another like to my previous post. Yeah, it certainly encouraged me. It certainly serves as an encouragement and slash validation, which I kind of crave and desperately need every now and then nowadays. Always a pleasure to be here. Enjoy your insights. Well, likewise. Yes, I sincerely hope that my videos can also serve as a form of encouragement to you guys out there, despite the fact that we've never met yet. But yeah, it's life is pretty, you know, like I've said, like I've regurgitated over and over. Life, has just keeps getting more malicious, more vicious, and more hostile, particularly for us men. Though I'm not saying life won't become hard or harsh for women. No, it can happen, to both genders. But in general, yes, we men, we can only, most of the times count on ourselves to make a difference, to make a positive, to make a better change to make a better change slash improvement or improvements to our own lives. And on some occasions, we might just get a helping hand from another dude, from another man, in due time, in due season, as a result of sympathy and or apathy. Beg your pardon for my stuttering. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, and so long as you get yourself so stranded or so trapped in the limbo long enough, you may just lose all your motivation or your passion or enthusiasm to continue pushing forward. And then as the degree or the amount of entropy continues to increase and develop, or I should say, you might then just kick your bucket, and the followed by all the misery and hardship you have suffered from in this life. But yes, I certainly hope that one day I get to die a peaceful and, relatively speaking, painless and dignified death. That's pretty much all I've been you know working to aim or to achieve. Yeah, and when you think about it, when it comes down to it, all our hard work, you know well, no matter how much of a successful dude, or even or a a so-called loser in terms of conventional sense, you are, all your hard work pretty much just amounts to, your to whether you get to spend a, relatively speaking, peaceful slash painless and dignified last moment of your last breaths. Yeah, I don't know if I made sense just now, but yeah, you I do believe that you guys, have got the drill, have, I do believe that you guys catch my drift. Yeah. So yeah, and yeah, and yes, and that kind of, led me, to a conclusion. Well, at least a tentative or a preliminary conclusion that, life in, to a fairly large degree or extent, life controls most of us, not the other way around. Though yes, though we strive, though, as for the sake of adherence to the principle of staying far from weak, we try our utmost best to take control of our lives, by controlling our emotions, well, most typically speaking, our negative emotions, such as, say, rage slash anger slash indignation and frustration, and also depression slash, feelings, sensations of hopelessness, and this belief and self-doubts, self, slash, second guessing of oneself, and the blah blah blah. Yeah, and it's, but unfortunately, yes, more often than not, life itself, itself takes sovereignty, takes the driving seat, and more often than not, we just found ourselves, a hitchhiker, of life, or even someone else's life, and that, in other words, more all often than not, we can get so attached, to others, or to someone else's lives, and once, we lose the attachment, or once once we lose that particular someone, we feel we get devastated, and that's, I do kind of consider myself, a living example, or a living, victim of over attachment, to my, you know past life of, relative comfort and self-indulgence, particularly, I got so attached to my grandma, to my grandma's, you know love, and care. Yeah, and, I then pretty much began, to take everything for granted, and that's, I suppose that's precisely why I am currently paying the price for it. Yeah. So yeah. So the yes. So the lesson I've learned is never get get yourself too attached to someone or something. Though I'm not saying don't get attached or don't have love or don't care about others. Um, you know, Nevertheless, just try to become self sufficient. Since the loved ones and the people that you love and care about, and those that reciprocate, that those that oftentimes reciprocate, you know, your love and care for them will not live for forever, will not stay by your side forever. Since we live in a world where death where death reigns, where death has the sovereignty over pretty much all life forms, or at least all at least over all Earth life forms slash um beg your pardon. Unfortunately, all most, if not all, non-extra terrestrial life form for victim to death. So unless you were an alien with who came from a far more advanced or far more sophisticated level of civilization, then unfortunately, yeah, in this life, only death, affliction, and pain and misery come at no cost. They can come to you, you know, without you paying money or or working for them or working to get rewarded. So yeah, that's the unfortunately Jack Scott. Man, I don't know who you are, but don't KYS. I beg your pardon, but I don't. I I'm afraid I don't quite follow what you just said. King, your insights to me are very much like Arthur Schopenhauer. People say he was a pessimistic person, but he would say he was just honest. Yes, he was, and I do consider myself, a truly black belt dude. Yes, though I still from time to time practice, the practice disciplines of self improvement, by trying to my utmost best to stay far from weak, despite my shitty circumstance and current various sorts of hardships. Um, yes, I still see, the pins and needles, of life. So yes, that's one of the reasons, why I, one of the main reasons why I've chosen to go MGTOW slash remaining much a celibate by not giving in, to the bondage of post-modern day marriage. Yeah. Your life just got recommended for me. I got worried you would do something with yourself. Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. Yes, how kind of you. And yes, and don't worry. I won't. At least I won't commit suicide just yet. Well, at least I don't. I'm not that depressed. Like I said, I've managed to at least find to have to have found a way or two to keep my depression at bay, at least to a certain extent, by practicing self improvement, by practicing self self improvement, say doing, by doing at least 100 push ups a day, and exercising, and doing, switch lungs, blah blah. Yeah. And yes, trying to make more money, trying to continue building and growing my business, and blah blah blah. Yeah. But stay strong. The greatest warriors struggle the most. Well, mostly true, but not all true. But still, yes, we have no other choice but to continue pushing forward with our shitty life. Well, no matter how shitty it gets, as long as we can still say, get back up, you know, after getting ourselves knocked down either by depression or hardship, or breaking up with your your exes, no matter ex girlfriend, ex wife, ex spouse, or ex boyfriend. Well, if you happen to have a sexual affection, or a romantic affection for another dude, as a dude yourself. But I don't really, you know like I said, I'm not gay. I am perfectly straight. And I condemn the movement of LGBT, all the propaganda. But I don't condemn or blame you for being gay, and for you know for being gay, and for sleeping with another man, so long as you keep it to yourself, and not trying to sort of convert other straight men into gays. Yes, then I have no problem. you know but yeah, other than that, yeah. But still, yes, I don't really blame you for for wanting to change your gender, as a way of as a way of coping with this harsh and ruthless reality. Yes, but just bear in mind that bear in mind bear this simple yet harsh truth in fact in mind, that no matter how much you how hard you work to to deny the fact that you are born a man by potentially mutilating your intimate parts. You cannot and will not change the fact that you cannot change your chromosome, your male chromosome or gene. And by attempting to change your gender, say by mutilating your intimate organs, you are doing nothing but a disservice. Even you know you by bringing destruction of your masculinity, even your very own life, to yourself. So try to stay away from that as much as you can. Though yes, though I don't, I myself, admit to the fact that I also, want to. I also wish that I was born a woman. That I wish I was born, a lesbian. But unfortunately, no. Yeah, and, and no amount of hard work or attempts to alter my genital gender will ever change that. Fortunately. Yes, I have read a few of Arthur's books, most notably the one you said, "The World as Well and Representation." Yes, it's a vastly profound, book, to say the least. It will take a gigantic amount of time for you to process and assimilate, his ideas, and the fundamentals of his ideas, and the true nature of life and anti-natalism. Yeah, but so long it doesn't really affect your life, or your overall daily routine, well, most notably your circadian rhythm, then who am I to judge how much time you should spend reading books? Yeah, though most recently I don't really have a lot of motivation or time to play video games, much less to read books. Yeah, though yes, I do. Yeah, still read books. While I take a dump. Yeah. Um. What are your favorite exercises? Yeah, mostly just some push-ups, some some jumps, some switching, some switching. I beg your pardon. Some switching. Some switching lunge, some switching launch, which I started doing most recently. Yeah, most recently. Yeah, and um, the strong surviving. You are clearly one of the strong still being here. I don't really consider myself that strong, but yes, at least I am not that weak. Yeah, at least, yeah, I still haven't yet surrendered myself to that wicked woman. and by trying to become and to become and stay independent. That's good, bro. Improving yourself is always good. Just remember that not everything in this life is about winning. Sometimes you just need to get your mind on the right place to enjoy what you have. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not always about winning. Yeah, it's more or less about trying to enjoy or enjoying whatever sort of types of um hobbies or items that we can take solace in or from. Say, some soothing noises, namely, ASMRs. um, Fair enough. Uranus, welcome to my channel. And yeah, fair enough. Always need to go. Anyway, I need to go now. I will be praying for you tonight, bro. You matter. Never forget that. How kind of you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, but yeah, I don't really suppose I matter that much. But yes, one of the reasons why I haven't actually committed suicide is that I suppose I still have at least a bunch of people who kind of still truly, care about me, if not actually love me. So yeah, and since my death will certainly, you know will um send them waves of afflictions and suffering. And though yes, I don't suppose they care or they love or care about me more than their more immediate or intimate family members. Say one of my adopted siblings slash my closest um, cousins unfortunately chose to reproduce. I don't suppose that so, certainly I do not matter more than the of all offsprings, and that's fine. I do not take it too personal, since you know he is still quite young. He's still in his you know mid 20s. So yes, there are the matrix, matrix, the systems indoctrination and programming has quite tight grasp and foothold on him. So I don't really blame him for choosing to reproduce. But yeah, it's unfortunately not even say he chose, even if he chose not to reproduce, there will still be countless, innumerable number of people who do otherwise, slash, who choose to still go ahead and have children, do, despite how much of anarchy and dystopian place the world has become. Yeah, but well, yes, you can say that everyone matters to a certain extent. Well, by the by the dead definition of the butterfly effects, yes, you can say that everyone matters, even every atom, every molecule of any particular of any substance in general matters, and yet they don't really matter on the you know grandiose scale. But yeah, I don't suppose I matter that much, but I would um, try to make myself matter more. Try to make myself play a more vital role in the future. Yeah, see how far that can take me. On the path of self improvement, on the path towards achieving success. Yeah. There are endless apps and platforms. You never have to feel alone unless you want to. The internet is the last. The internet is the last truly free frontier to be yourself and find others who feel the same. Yeah, I agree. Yes, on the same page with you on that. Yeah. Um. Yes, yes, to a fairly large extent. Yes, I agree with you on that. Yes, about the interweb. Yeah, but sadly, there are plenty of. Speaking of the internet, it inevitably make think of internet censorship. There are you know well, but contrary to popular belief, internet censorship exists pervasively, even in first world countries and regions like America. Not just say in less free countries like China or Russia or Iran, but it's pretty much at least nowadays during this post pandemic or pandemic or post COVID days, post COVID age, internet censorship has begun to run so rampant throughout the whole globe. They are just the censorship in the Western world, or I should say in first world countries or regions, are just a lot more subtle, than the ones you would um, normally or ordinarily bump into, um, as you would in third world countries or regions like India, China. Well, I won't say Iran is a third world state, but yeah, but there are things are a lot more complicated, than most, if not all of you guys, from the Western world tend to perceive, reckon. Yeah, and even I myself, as an Asian, used to I used to tend to categorize the world, or all the things, all the people I run into and I see in the world as purely black and white, good or evil. But the truth is, there are pretty much always something or someone sitting in between. There's pretty much always the middle ground. As you can see. Well, I won't get into too much details or complex matters about geopolitics. Speaking of well of speaking of um, who which countries voted for or against sanctions against Russia in response to the its invasion into Ukraine. There are plenty, loads of countries that chose to you know that chose to that chose to remain in the neutral ground. Namely China, Thailand, Malaysia, and blah blah blah. Even some countries that are kind of you know um um partners or allies or even active members of the NATO. Even Turkey did not vote to support sanctions against Russia, and it's part of NATO. Go and look that up in case of doubt. Yeah, but I won't get into too much details into that. But just for your general, for your information, for your for the purpose of general reference. I'm not saying that I support, you know, either side. I just, I do not really consider, an act of war, a, a productive or humane way of living. Though, but I can't really say much about such matter, and I beg your pardon for getting sidetracked. But yeah, let's just say Russians or Russia are not your enemies, you know, and America, you know, the Western system are not necessarily your friend, even as a Westerner yourself. But yeah, it's just yes. I beg pardon for kind of um contradicting myself, despite the fact that despite the fact that I've said I won't get I won't talk too much or get too deep into such a topic pertaining to geopolitics, since I don't know really much, but I can still perceive. I consider myself fully capable, fully competent in perceiving and understanding and in discerning simple and all obvious facts. But yeah, still, you know in pertaining to those matters, you be your own judge. I won't really force you to to agree with me or disagree with me. You judge in pertaining to matters like those. Yeah, that is what makes you matter. The world needs more people who can see the good in good and bad, and the bad in good, the good in bad, and the bad in good. aka the gray area. Yeah, your insights really resonate with me and my life, but I am on the spectrum. I don't know if you are. I couldn't choose a side even if I wanted to. The in between is where I stay. Yeah, I am. Yes, I consider myself yes a fairly neutral person as well. You know, there are well, d- despite the censorships, despite the less amount of freedom the so-called less amount of so-called freedom you get to enjoy in the eastern in Asia, as in contrast to the western world, there are lots of benefits in Asia, namely in China. You get to enjoy cheaper, more cost effective food, more cost effective uh, uh, accommodations. Yes, and not just in China, but yes, in Thailand, in Vietnam, there are certainly benefits, or I should say perks of living, in a non first world state or country or region. Yeah, they are pretty much both upsides and downsides. Yeah, though yes, there are even a bit of upside to depression and to OCDs. Since uh, uh, being being a sufferer of OCD forces you it forces you to have a bit of a critical critical thinking skills. It makes you question or doubt pretty much every aspect you can perceive and discern in your life. Yeah, and yes, and once you overdo it, it becomes a huge burden. It we say most recently, well, ever since I started, well, I wouldn't say immediately after I stopped taking antidepressant, but at least after around a month or two, um, you know, once I stopped ingesting antidepressant in order to preserve them, in order to use them sparingly, I began to just spend too much time on making simple decisions. Say whenever I buy take away food, it can well, most recently, the shortest amount of time it takes me it takes for me to finish to wrap up a single order of a single meal is around 30 to 35 minutes. Yeah, and not to mention when I engage in more mentally demanding activities or tasks, say managing my businesses, doing some other work. Well, though yes, though unfortunately my OCD hasn't reached the point of extreme severity that it adversely affects my performance at work or in business that much. It's certainly it certainly makes makes decision making more time consuming, more time wasting, and more difficult, to say the least. Yeah, it makes you, it forces you to involuntarily overthink, and sometimes it creates all those flashbacks, all those flashbacks of either past events, well, potentially tragic or traumatic, but also flashbacks of of um, potentially possible outcomes of events in your head. It creates all those flashbacks, involuntary and flashbacks of either past or future scenarios in your head. Yeah, and it's just so freaking exhausting, yes, to say the least. Not necessarily traumatizing, but definitely exhausting to have, to suffer from moderate to severe level of OCD. Yeah, like what you are seeing, what you are watching right now, and I hope hopefully my stuttering um hasn't done that much of disservice to both you and me, in a way that what I say makes no sense to you guys. But yeah, still, Jesus Christ. Most civilians just want to live their lives. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I just want to live my lives in a fairly peaceful and well, I won't say wealthy, but at least in a peaceful and in a way that I don't need to worry about money or bills that much. Sure, yes, it's fair to to worry about your future plans, your future plans pertaining to pertaining to making investments and retirements. But yeah, it's just freaking, life is freaking exhausting, to say the least. Not to mention that you also suffer from depression and OCD, sometimes, and anxiety. And they and when and when they all start to converge on you, that's the day when all hell starts to break loose, almost, at least. But yeah, in any regards, yeah. in case you guys have any more questions, I'm all ears. Now it's the time for FAQs / frequently asked questions. I am all ears. Otherwise, yes, I suppose I have talked quite enough during this filming session. Yeah. So so in case, yes, you guys have no other questions, yes, thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you very much. What business do you do? I a bit of online entrepreneurship, and yes, well, plus YouTube, plus plus a Patreon page. Yeah, sometimes I write. Sometimes I create some other forms of content. By writing some tech, and shit. Yes, I'm currently also thinking of some ideas, to diversify the range of contents I create on YouTube. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see about that, yeah, in the future. I just don't really have that much of a solid or concrete plan yet. Yes, though yes, I do have a somewhat concrete plan in making a in making a purchase of a new gear, namely a new webcam. Yeah, and see how how much improvements that can make to my future videos. Yeah, but yeah, in any regards, yeah, thank you very much again for tuning in and talking to me and interacting with me during this live stream. So yeah, in case, well, if God's still willing, I hope to see you guys next time on YouTube, at Rumble and on BitChute, etc. And yeah, until next time, then, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and yeah, I will. If, like I said, if God's still willing, I'll see you guys soon. Cheers, and stay out of trouble. Bye.